Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Jimbo Splice Gaming Project, bringing you a DC Universe Online munitions, mid-range to melee range, loadout, and rotation. Um, Basically, I just want to break this tutorial down real quick because I've seen a lot of other munitions DPS loadouts out there claiming to be OP or the best, and I haven't seen them putting up the same amount of damage that I can do with this. So, real quick, Guts Tree. You want to go all the way down the middle to get Killer Instinct. And then you want to go down the right all the way down to get Shrapnel Grenade Launcher, and then down on the left to get the Rocket Launcher. That way you got 7 points in that tree, you get the 1% crit attack chance. That is the most important thing about DPS. I've said it again. You know, your crit attack chances are the most important. In the Glory Tree, you want to get Rail Guns, you want to get Big Gun, because your Supercharge is probably the best thing you can get, and then you want to get Explosion. Alright, this is for the mid-range to melee range. Don't forget that. This is mid-range, melee range. So make sure you get those exact powers. In your Iconics tree, just get your Tactical Genius and your Weapons Expert for the crit attack chance and crit attack damage. The loadout looks like this. From left to right, you're going to get Shrapnel Grenade Launcher, Rail Guns, Rocket Launcher, Big Gun, Explosion, and Killer Instincts, in that order. It's just easier if you set it up that way, trust me. Alright, now, like I said before, everybody else claims that, you know, you use chain gun and 5-barrel minigun and particle cannon and, you know, all these crazy things, and you trust me, I've tested this, I've tested their loadouts, I've gone through to try to find out what actually does the most damage with munitions. This setup does more damage, according to the tests, and the test numbers don't lie, than any other loadout I've seen on anybody else's page or anybody else's channel or anybody else's video. For your skills, of course, you want to put one in the movement mode, and then you want to spec out for might. Munitions is might based because you're using literally nothing but powers. So you want to get your crit attack chances, your crit attack damages, and then as much might as you can. That's the gist of it. It's really easy loadout. You can't mess this up. And if you use the loadout that I'm giving you, you're gonna do more damage than using any other loadout you've seen. And because it is mid-range to melee range, we're gonna get a nice and tight to target, so that way you can see the damage output. Because you're gonna use this in duos, solos, and alerts, and you're gonna try and get in there in raids this close as well without dying. So the first thing you do is you start out clipping Explosion and Killer Instinct to get your advanced mechanics up. Plus those give you pretty good damage bonuses. Explosion gives you a 50% damage bonus. Killer Instinct starts your AM and gives you a might buff and all that stuff. It's good for you. And then the next power that you're going to use, you're going to start with Shrapnel Grenade Launcher. That is also a 50% damage increase, and it has 2 shots versus the 50 cal power, which is only 1 shot. And usually both those Shrapnel Grenade Launcher shots hit just as hard as the one, see, 151,000, 143,000. Both Shrapnel Grenade shots from using that 1 power hit as hard as the 1 50 cal shot. I've seen a lot of people using 50 cal in their loadouts. Why? You can hit just as hard with Shrapnel Grenade Launcher, but twice. And you can hit from just as far. The further away you get with 50 cal, it hits less. The damage is way less. Why would you use that? It doesn't make any sense to me, but people will tell you to use it. I don't understand why. Alright, so Shrapnel Grenade Launcher, then Rail Guns. Rail Guns hits really hard, and it hits a lot. It's like 4 or 5 hits. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 hits. And they hit really good. And then rockets. The Rocket Launcher. It does really good split damage if there's more than one ad. If it's one single ad, it does a lot of damage. I mean, it hits really good, and it's got multiple hits in that 1 power. So just keep doing that back and forth. Shrapnel Grenade Launcher, Rail Guns, Rocket Launcher, and then as soon as your Killer Instinct is ready again, just clip Explosion back into Killer Instinct, and you're all set. There's just 1, 2, 3. And then clip the 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, left to right, over and over again. And then once your Supercharge is up, if you're on a group of ads that are like, you know, you see them a lot, and you know that it's, you know, they're kind of squishy, and there's 3 or 4 of them in a group, that's when you want to use your Big Gun, because it's going to knock those ads out automatically. If you try to use big guns on like one of those crazy like bigger ads that's always like by himself away from the group, and so whenever you pull the group you don't really pull him, he's kind of like a standalone. If you try to use big guns on him, you're going to be disappointed. It's just the way it is. Their defense is too high. Big guns doesn't really work that well on those single ads that are made in like a high defensive role. It just doesn't. So be careful how you use the big guns. If you use it right, you will top the charts in every run. I mean, I've been in raids and alerts with other munitions DPSs, and we are always on the top. You know, it's us and mental. That's just the way it is. Sometimes a nice guy can get in there with us, but if you know how to use big guns and you use these powers in your mid to melee range loadout, you will stay on the top of the leaderboard as far as damage output. Showing you guys just, you know, what the guns look like when you're shooting them. I think it's pretty sweet. I like this power just because it looks cool. Being a former military guy myself, I kind of like the whole guns and ammo thing. It's pretty tight. So on a single target, really good damage. It's hard to beat. Munitions is really hard to beat. Just you know, keep your explosion clipped with your killer instincts to keep your might buffs up and your damage buffs up, and use that shrapnel grenade launcher for a 50% damage increase, and then your rail guns and your rocket launcher to kind of do like a little power interaction with the graviton charge, and they do extra damage together. It's just, you can't beat it. It's pretty cut and dry. Yeah, the triple targets, it's doing a lot. It's doing a lot of damage. I mean, 250,000 per second. You know, and this is just a real. It's so easy. It's just 1, 2, 3. Clip the 2 powers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There is no crazy trick or unnecessary jumping around. You just use the powers. It does all the work for you. Munitions DPS is probably the easiest DPS in the game, and it is one of the most powerful. So, I mean, I do see quite a few people using it too, but you know, nobody's using it like this. And like I said, these numbers have been tested. Like, I've tested the, you know, the 50 cal and the rail gun and the rocket. I've tested the 50 cal and the chain gun and the rockets. I've tested the rail guns, the particle beam, and the rockets. I mean, I've tested all that. I've tested the one with the chain grenade launcher to set people on fire, to try and use the fire interaction. That, in fact, does not do more damage than this loadout. I mean, even if you light these guys on fire, and shrapnel grenade launcher is supposed to do more damage if the person is on fire, the explosion does so much damage from mid to melee range that it's not worth getting the firepower interaction from the double chain grenade. It's just, it's not. You do more damage with this setup. Don't worry about the fire interaction. It's not going to do more damage. And don't worry too much about, you know, making sure you stick to one type of power interaction and chaining from there. You don't need to worry about it. You're doing the same powers over and over again, and you're keeping the bullet frenzy and your killer instincts up, and you're just going to keep whipping out damage. It's super easy. It's super simple, and the damage increases from explosion and shrapnel grenade launcher are put you above your max anyway, so you're all set just like this. I mean, and clipping is not hard either. The big gun, I'll talk a little bit more about that real quick. The Supercharge is not good on bosses either. All right, don't use it on bosses. It doesn't really do much. Just stick to your loadout. Use the boss fights as a chance to build up a Supercharge. So when you run out of the room, away from the boss fight, the next group of ads, you can just kind of slap them with it real quick, and it just puts them down. You know, this is one of those powers where everybody wants to do like your DPS comps with, because they all, it's so easy that, you know, all these cocky little kids can just use it and think that they're the most OP person on the planet, and then they'll challenge everybody and their mom to some DPS comp. This power is, I like the power because it's useful. And I think, you know, more people using it means we get through content a lot quicker because everybody's doing crazy damage. Nobody wants to be a roll, everybody wants to be a DPS. So, you know, and you know, I'm guilty. I'm kind of catering to that with, you know, my tutorials and loadouts, but this is what people want to know. They want to play this game. They want to know how to do DPS. So, you know, I'm going to give you guys thorough and precise testing and results, and I'm going to post those up for you guys. So, you know, I put up an Earth DPS loadout, I put up a Fire DPS loadout, and now I'm putting up my Munitions DPS loadout. So hopefully you guys get some good information out of those, and you know, and you see, you know, that I've done the testing, I've you know, thoroughly, and the numbers won't lie. So, you know, I'm not going to give you guys some bum scoop. That's not the type of person I am. So, you know, just keep checking out the videos. If there's any other power you guys want me to do, I do have an atomic tune. I do have an ice tune. I've got a celestial tune, and you know, I'll be working on those. I don't have any other. I might make a nature tune and try and make a loadout for that, but nature is terrible for DPS. So, you know, I'll work on it, I guess. But I think I had somebody ask me about that. I know you guys have asked for the munitions loadout, so definitely wanted to get that up there for you guys. And I'll make another video for the long range loadout as well, because there is a different long range loadout, and I've seen a lot of people giving some bum scoop about long range DPS with this as well. A lot. Several very popular pages giving out some bum scoop on long range. Like, I don't know, maybe they're doing it on purpose. Maybe they don't want you to know how to actually do a lot of damage with munitions from long range. I don't know. What's their game plan? Who knows? Maybe it's just all a big conspiracy theory to keep themselves on top. You know, I'm not going to name any names or anything. I'm not that kind of person. But, you know, other than that, guys, I mean, you know, it's pretty simple. But I'll put out that long-range munitions DPS loadout pretty soon. And thanks for tuning in. This has been the Jimbo Splice Gaming Project, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.